Hello, it is Sunday afternoon, and I am uploading a video that we are actually preparing to place Joseph's mobile home onto concrete piers, and we will be doing some digging with a skidster and also measuring out where they need to go and get it prepared for the mobile home to be placed permanently on its foundation, and also the addition to be placed over there with it. And so that's what we'll be doing in this video. Hope you enjoy the video, and if you haven't subscribed, please do, and hit that like button and also share with your friends, and we'll appreciate it. Enjoy the video.
Well, we are starting out with drilling some holes since we already got everything measured out and we actually marked them by painting big paint marks on the ground, and we are just going around digging holes for the mobile home for the piers, which is going to be at least 42 inches deep. Then they'll have a 2 foot by 2 foot pad on top that the block that holds the trailer up will be placed upon. And so that's what we're doing here. We're just going around digging all the holes. There's 20 holes total that we marked out. And so Daniel is guiding me around and actually getting the auger to be straight up and down in both directions, but it really doesn't matter in this sense because we are boring out the holes more than normal because it's only an 8-inch bit, and we really would like to have at least a 10 or 12-inch bit. So we are just boring out the holes and having a bigger hole dug with just the 8-inch auger that we're using. I do want to give a shout out to our neighbor, which is Broken Arrow Campground. They allowed us to use this skidster, and they also had the auger, which was just a blessing. We could use and punch the holes to get the piers for the mobile home for Joseph to be set. So here we are just going around. Like I said, we're drilling out the holes. We're trying to get the holes lined up where they will all be in one line, so the rails underneath the mobile home will match up for both rows, and there's 10 holes on one side and 10 holes on another. Daniel does a great job supervising, as you can see, as he's holding the shovel, or the shovel is holding him, one or the other, but he is actually just raking off the top dirt, trying to get it level again, so when we go to pour the concrete in the holes and the pads, it would just be level ground, and we can get everything leveled out the way it's supposed to be. And so it's not a real exciting video, but it is something that needs to be done, and we want to show you every step it takes to set a mobile home on a permanent foundation. This is actually auger going into a hole. We did a close-up to show what it looks like actually going into the hole, and then pulling the what they call the core of dirt out, and shaking it off with the bit, the auger, and going back into the hole and digging it deeper. We wanted it at least 42 inches deep, so it would be deep enough below the frost line in South Dakota, so that's what we're shooting for. Sometimes you hit rock bad enough in South Dakota that you don't get deep enough. We just leave it alone, because if you're hitting that much rock or that big of rock down in the hole, then it's deep enough because it'll sit on that rock as a foundation. So that's what we did. I think there was only like one or maybe two holes that ended up where it wasn't totally 42 to 48 inches deep. So and then we'll get a post hole digger eventually and clean out all these holes that we are digging. And so that's our plan, and trying to get it prepared for Joseph's trailer. Some of the next steps we got to do is we got to dig a line for the water from the well to his house, and then we got to dig for a septic tank. We also got to do a perk test, so there is a lot different things we got to do to get the trailer set and the addition behind it placed. So this video is actually sped up quite a bit. It took us 2 days to do the filming of this video alone, because it is a very slow process of going around making sure all the holes are dug really well. And then once we got the holes dug for the mobile home, I went over, and there is a drainage ditch that we created a pond. We get a lot of water that runs from the campground that allowed us to use this skidster, which is called Broken Arrow Campground. They have been a blessing to us. Like I said, they let us use the skidster and the auger that they had, but when the snow melts in South Dakota around our place, it all rushes down into our property, and I dug a pond on Joseph's property here, and then there's a ditch that drains off of the pond that goes down to the main ditch by the road, and it actually allows the drainage of all of the water that runs off. But there is a lot that comes down at one time. We've had lots of floods in the past where it washed our driveways out and stuff like that. So I'm trying to prepare it where it won't do that anymore. And so after we get all the 20 holes dug here, as you can tell, my help became more entertainment with themselves as they were playing with each other and messing with each other while I'm just digging the holes. I did learn real fast that the wind was blowing in one direction, because I drilled a hole for one of the piers and was facing the wrong way. And of course, when I shook all the dirt off, it blew right into the cab of the skidster, and I got a mouthful of dirt. So you learn as you go, but it was a pretty easy process having a skidster pretty handy right next to us, and we do appreciate them letting us use it. Joseph and Daniel really like being outside with us and doing the project, and Joseph really appreciated us getting the holes done. He was at work at the time, and so he wasn't out there with us, but Daniel, Philip, and I were out there, and we were just punching the holes to get the 20 done. So here it is. The holes are all punched now, and I get back in the skidster and think, I can actually use the auger to get the ditch drilled out more and actually loosen dirt, so when I get the bucket back on, I can dig this ditch and put a culvert in, because we're going to need a driveway over to his place from our driveway, which it will split right where I'm digging now with the auger. This is where that drainage comes off his property into the ditch that's by our driveway, and then it goes out by the road. So I'm just loosening the dirt by just drilling holes. There's a lot of clay and really thick dirt in this area, and getting it off the auger was quite the chore sometimes if I got a good enough hole drilled. So this is what's happening at this point. So I drilled about, between 25 to 30 holes along this area just to get that drainage ditch deeper. So when I put a bucket on there, I can dig it out. And of course, like I said, I can put the culvert in. And actually, the trailer will go over this culvert in this drive, because it's the only access to this property. We need to get access to the property for his trailer to be actually moved to. So it's just helping the whole progress. And like I said, using the auger really helped to get really deep, because what happened is, even with the ditches we had, which was really shallow, it would overflow our driveway, and all of our gravel would end up in our grass, and we would have to rake it and shovel it back into the driveway every year. And so we put a culvert into our driveway, several years back, and that was to prevent from the flood that we've had in previous years. So we do get a lot of water, though. It's only like once or twice a year, but um, it's really a bad deal when all the snow melts at one time because it washes all the gravel right off the driveway. So here I am finishing up trying to get all the um, there's actually some really big rocks in this area, and I was just going around them and under them and trying to loosen them so when I get the bucket, we can dig them out and get the culvert set in and get the gravel put in and pack some dirt in there and get a driveway built for him. So we did get a culvert. The culvert is 12 inches double walled and it's 20 foot long, and that would be plenty for us to get the mobile home pulled across and placed upon the pads that we drilled the holes for in this video.